Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namani Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desa Tarane Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vanchakalpa Churvyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namah. Alright, thank you for coming. Thank Srila Prabhupada for giving us all these books. This is again Nectar Devotion, Chapter 37, Impetuses for Krishna's Service. Excuse me. The causeless mercy of Krishna, the dust of his lotus feet, his prasad, and the association of his devotees are some impetuses toward a devotee's engagement in transcendental loving service of the Lord. Krishna exhibited his causeless mercy when he was present at the departure of Grandfather Bhishma during the Battle of Kurukshetra. During the Battle of Kurukshetra, Bhishma Dev, the grandfather of Arjuna, was lying on the bed of arrows before departing from this mortal world. When Lord Krishna, Maharaj Yudhisthira, and the other Pandavas approached Bhishma Dev, he was very grateful to Lord Krishna, and his address, the Brahmin military commander Kripacharya, thus: "My dear Kripacharya, just see the wonderful causeless mercy of Lord Krishna. I am most unfortunate. I have no qualification. I was opposing Krishna's most intimate friend, Arjuna. I even tried to kill him. I have so many disqualifications, and yet the Lord is still so kind that he has come to see me at the last point of my life. He is worshipable by all great sages, but still he is so merciful that he has come to see an abominable person like me. Sometimes the vibration of Lord Krishna's flute, his bugling, his smiling, his footmarks on the ground, his transcendental fragrance of his body, and the appearance of a new cloud in the sky also become impetuses for ecstatic love for him." In the Vidagdha Madhava, there is the following statement: "When Krishna was playing on his flute, Baladev very anxiously declared, also, see how, after hearing the transcendental sound of Krishna's flute, Indra, the king of heaven, is crying in his heavenly kingdom, and from his teardrops falling on the ground, Vrindavan appears to have become a celestial residence for the demigods." Ecstatic love for Krishna, which is known as Anubhava, is symptomized by the following signs. One becomes engaged exclusively in the service of the Lord, being attentive to carry out the orders of the Lord faithfully. One becomes undisturbed and non-envious in full transcendental loving service to the Lord. And one makes friendship with the devotees of the Lord who are situated in faithful service to him. All of these symptoms are called Anubhava, ecstatic love. The first symptom of Anubhava, or engagement in a particular type of service, is exemplified by Daruka, the servant of Krishna who used to fan Krishna with a chamara, a bunch of hair. When he was engaged in such service, he was filled with ecstatic love, and the symptoms of ecstatic love became manifest in his body. But Daruka was so serious about his service that he checked all of these manifestations of ecstatic love and considered them hindrances to his engagement. He did not care very much for these manifestations, although they automatically developed in Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, 86th chapter, verse 38. There is a statement of how Shrutadev, a Brahmin from the country called Mithila in northern India, became so overpowered with joy as soon as he saw Krishna that immediately after bowing down to the Lord's lotus feet, he stood up and began to dance, raising his two arms above his head. One of the devotees of Lord Krishna once addressed him in this manner: "My dear Lord, Although you are not a professional dancer, by your dancing, you have so astonished us that we can understand that you are personally the master of all dancing. Certainly you must have learned this dancing art directly from the goddess of love. When a devotee dances in ecstatic love, there are manifestations of symptoms called sattvika bhava. Sattvika means that they form the transcendental platform. They are from the transcendental platform. They are not symptoms of material emotion. They come from the soul proper. In Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 85th chapter, verse 38, Sukadeva Goswami tells Maharaj Parikshit that after surrendering everything under the lotus feet of Vamandev, Bali Maharaj immediately caught hold of the lotus feet of the Lord and pressed them to his heart. Being overwhelmed with joy, he manifested all the symptoms of ecstatic love, with tears in his eyes and a faltering voice. In such expressions of ecstatic love, there are many other subsidiary symptoms such as jubilation, withering, silence, disappointment, moroseness, reverence, thoughtfulness, remembrance, doubtfulness, confidence, eagerness, indifference, restlessness, impudence, shyness, inertness, illusion, madness, ghastliness, contemplation, dreaming, disease, and signs of death. When a devotee meets Krishna, there are symptoms of jubilation, pride, and perseverance. And when he is feeling great separation from Krishna, the symptoms of ghastliness, disease, and signs of death become prominent. It is stated in the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, verse 5, that when Lord Krishna returned from the battlefield of Kurukshetra to his home in Dwarka, all the residents of Dwarka began to talk with him as the child talks lovingly to his father, and the fathers return from foreign countries. This is an example of jubilation. When Bahulashva, the king of Mithila, saw Krishna at his palace, he decided to offer his respects by bowing down before him at least 100 times. But he was so overcome by feelings of love that after bowing down only once, he forgot his position and could not rise again. In the Skanda Purana, a devotee tells Lord Krishna, "My dear Lord, as the sun evaporates all the water on the ground by its scorching heat, so my mental state has dried away the luster of my face and body due to separation from you. This is an example of withering and ecstatic love." The expression of disappointment was made by Indra, the king of heaven. When the sun god told Indra, when he saw the sun god, Indra told him, "My dear sun god, your sunshine is very glorious because it reaches the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, the master of the Yadu dynasty. I have thousands of eyes, but they have proved to be useless because not even for a moment are they able to see the lotus feet of the Lord." Reverential devotion for the Lord gradually increases and it transforms itself into ecstatic love. When affection and then attachment, in the 10th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, 38th chapter, verse 6, Akrura says, "Because I am going to see the Lord today, all symptoms of inauspiciousness have already been killed. My life is now successful, because I shall be able to offer my respects unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead." Another devotee in ecstatic reverential affection once said, "When will that glorious day in my life come when it will be possible for me to go to the bank of the Yamuna and see Lord Krishna playing there as a cowherd boy?" When there is no diminishing of the ecstatic love and when he is freed from all kinds of doubt, the devotee has reached a stage called steady love for Krishna. In this stage, all expressions of unhappiness by the devotee are called anubhava, or ecstatic loving symptoms. The symptom of ecstatic affection with reverence felt by Bali Maharaj was expressed as follows: My dear Lord, you have simultaneously punished me and showed me your causeless mercy. My conclusion is that when I have taken shelter of your lotus feet, I shall never be disturbed in any condition of life. Whether you give me the support, the opportunity to enjoy all the yogic perfections, or you put me into the most abominable condition of hellish life, I shall never be disturbed. Krishna. Krishna himself, after seeing Bali Maharaj, told Uddhava, My dear friend, how can I express the glorious characteristics of Bali Maharaj, the son of Virochana? Although the king of the Asura demigods was cursed by the son of Virochana, and although I cheated him in my incarnation as Vamandev, taking away his dominions throughout the universe, and although I still criticized him for not fulfilling his promise, I have just now seen him in his kingdom, and he feelingly expressed his love for me. When such a feeling of love becomes intensified, it is called affection. In that affectionate stage, one cannot bear separation from Krishna, even for a moment. One devotee told Daruka, the servant of Krishna, My dear Daruka, when you become like wood because of your separation from Krishna, it is not so wonderful. Whenever any devotee sees Krishna, his eyes become filled with water, and in separation, any devotee like you would become stunned, standing just like a wooden doll. This is not a very wonderful thing. There is a statement about Uddhava's symptoms of love. When he saw Lord Krishna, his eyes filled with tears and created a river which flowed down toward the sea of Krishna to offer tribute as a wife offers tribute to her husband. Excuse me. When his body erupted with goose pimples, he appeared like a kadamba flower, and when he began to offer prayers, he appeared completely distinct from all other devotees. When affection is symptomized by direct happiness and distress, it is called attraction. In such an attached state of ecstatic love, one can face all kinds of disadvantages calmly, even at the risk of death. Such a devotee is never bereft of the transcendental loving service of the Lord. A glorious example of this ecstatic love was exhibited by King Parikshit when he was at the point of death. Although he was bereft of his entire kingdom, which spread all over the world, and although he was accepting not even a drop of water in the 7 days remaining to him, because he was engaged in hearing the transcendental pastimes of the Lord from Shukadeva Goswami, he was not in the least distressed. On the contrary, he was feeling direct transcendental ecstatic joy in association with Shukadeva Goswami. One devotee has confidentially expressed his opinion: if a drop of Lord Krishna's mercy can be bestowed upon me, then I shall feel completely carefree, even in the midst of the fire or an ocean. But if I become bereft of his causeless mercy, then even if I become the king of Dwarka, I would simply be the object of pinpricks. Devotees such as Maharaj Parikshit and Uddhava are all situated in ecstatic attraction on the basis of affection, and in that state of affection, a feeling of friendship becomes manifested. When Uddhava was freed from all material contamination, he saw the Lord, and his throat became choked up, and he could not speak. By the movements of his eyebrows alone, he was embracing the Lord. Such ecstatic love has been divided by such great scholars into two groups: addition and subtraction. If a devotee is not directly associated with the Lord, it is called subtraction. In this state of love, one is constantly fixed in his mind at the lotus feet of the Lord. A devotee in this state becomes very eager to learn of the transcendental qualities of the Lord, and most important business of such devotee is attaining the association of the Lord. In the Nrsimha Purana, there's a statement about King Ikshvaku, which illustrates the state of ecstatic love. Because of his great affection for Krishna, King Ikshvaku became greatly attached to the black deer, the doe's black eyes, and the lotus flower, which is always compared to the eyes of the Lord. In the 10th canto, 28th chapter, verse 10 of the Bhagavatam, Akrura thinks, since the Lord has now appeared to diminish the great burden of the world, and is now visible in everyone's eyes, in his personal transcendental body, when we see him before us, is that not the ultimate perfection of our eyes? In other words, Akrura realized that the perfection of the eyes is fulfilled when one is able to see Lord Krishna. Therefore, when Lord Krishna was visible on the earth by direct appearance, everyone who saw him surely attained perfection of sight. In the Krishna Karnamrita, written by Bilbamangal Thakur, there is an expression of eagerness and ecstatic love. How miserable is my dear Krishna, O friend of the hopeless, O merciful Lord! How can I pass these thankless days without seeing you? A similar sentiment was expressed by Uddhava when he wrote a letter to Krishna and said, My dear Supreme Lord, King of Vraj, you are the mission of nectar for the eyes, and without seeing your lotus feet and the effulgence of your body, my mind is always morose. I cannot perceive any peace under any circumstance. Besides that, I'm feeling every moment's separation to be like a duration of many, many long years. In the Krishna Karnamrita, it is said, My dear Lord, you are the ocean of mercy. With my arms placed upon my head, I am bowing down before you with all humility and sincerity. I am praying unto you, my Lord, would you be pleased with me to sprinkle a little of the water of your glance upon me? That will be great satisfaction. A devotee of Lord Krishna said, even when Sasi Shekhara, Lord Shiva, was unable to see you, what chance is there for me, who am lower than an ordinary worm? I have only committed misdeeds. I know that I am not at all fit to offer my prayers to you, but because you are known as Dinabandhu, the friend of the fallen, I humbly pray that you will kindly purify me by the beams of your transcendental glance. If I become thoroughly bathed by your merciful glance, then I may be saved. Therefore, my Lord, I am requesting you to please bestow upon me your merciful glance. That ends chapter 37 of the Nectar of Devotion. Impetus is very ecstatic for service to Krishna. Okay, so thank you for whoever tuned in there. Good evening.